Yeah, I mean, how do I prepare for this? Because the terrain is going to be very difficult, the climate is going to be different. So, from the preparation point of view, what would you suggest?
Well, the best way to prepare is to just do everything Jet says to do. He knows better than anybody. The only thing that I've done that's different from what you suggest is I've used this device called ultramarathoner. And a lot of other runners have used it too, like Ray Sanchez. It's a breathing device that allows you to acclimate to high altitudes, even when you're at low altitudes. And it's just a lot of pain, it's a lot of trouble. You breathe in it for an hour a day. It's so tough at the beginning that you're probably going to pass out a few times. Okay, but you get really used to it. You start building a lot of red blood cells, etc., and you tend to be able to handle it really easily. Now, in 2010, the company that sells this device, they gave me the device. It's something like $700 US. I don't know what that is in rupees, but it's really expensive. They gave me one if I did a beta testing, so which means I was testing it to evaluate how well it worked. Well, the requirement was that as soon as I got to lay, I had to go straight up to 18,000 feet elevation and go running without giving my body any chance to acclimate the normal way, just staying up there. Okay? So Rajat was very close to this. He did not want me going up there because this was too dangerous. So I had to sneak and go up there on my own. Got in a taxi cab and went up there. And sure enough, when I got up there, I was able to run without any problems. Now I did kind of I'm kind of always trying to push the envelope. So when I got up there, I was at the very top of Tanglang Wall, running back and forth. Other people are lying on the ground. We've got big taxis get out there, they get out of their car, they lie down on the ground, so weak. But there's still mountains that are higher than Tanglang Wall. And so after I saw that I could run and no problems at all, I decided to run up the mountain, okay, which is really steep. It's about as steep as you can go. I'm running up, it's a dirt trail, I'm running up the mountain. And then got about maybe 200 yards up, and all of a sudden it just felt really awful, okay? And but still I was way above what everybody else. It's just, I pushed it a little too hard. Just, you won't have any problems running at 18,000 feet if you try using this ultramarathoner device. The alternative is just do what he says. Go up there. But I couldn't do what he says because I had to evaluate the product. I had to show that it worked. But if you just go up there every other day for 2 weeks before you actually do the race, you'll be acclimated really well. Still, in 2010, I was the only person that actually ran over carbon law. The other people, Molly and Mark, both walked over. They were suffering. I was doing great. So,
Thank you.
let's see, what else though? Everything else you can train here. You want to get some, don't push it. I mean, like Mark Woolley, he ran really fast at the beginning. He didn't finish the 3:33 the first time because he pushed it too hard. Just try to enjoy yourself, have fun. Because the cutoffs are tougher than they used to be. But still, they're 20-minute miles. It's enough to probably finish the race. All right, any other questions?
Bit of your background about running.
Say again?
Your running background. What all races you've done? How long have you been running for?
Okay, well, I was one of those kids that the parents never said, quit running. Okay, I used to run everywhere. Most parents, at least in the United States, they tell their kids to quit running, you're going to cause some trouble, stuff like that. My parents, they were too busy with what they were doing. They didn't pay attention to me. So my father put me in my first endurance race when I was 10 years old. And it was a 1 mile race. There was about 20 other kids my age, about 10 years old, that were in the race. We had to run around this track that was 0.1 miles. Okay, so kilometers, okay, so 1.6 kilometers, but around a track that you had to go around 10 times. Well, I ended up lapping second place twice. Okay, doing this. Okay, so I was already like 10 years old in dirt, and I just got so addicted. I just started running. I was going running all through high school, college, things like that. I was running. I ran my first marathon when I was in college. I started running. People say, you know, don't do more than 1 or 2 marathons a year. I was doing like 20 marathons a year, you know, that kind of thing, because it was just too much fun. You know, I like the adventure. I like the social. I never really pushed myself really hard. I ran my first ultra marathon in 1996. That was a 50-mile race. And I had so much fun, I signed up for another one the very next weekend. Okay? And then in 1997, I ended up running so many 50-mile races that I set a world record. I ran 20 50-mile races in 1997, and nobody had ever done that before. And I didn't even know there was a record. I was just too addicted. I was just the adventure. I really get turned on by the adventure. These races, you go and explore every time you do one of these things. And I always say that to start is to win. A lot of people will say to finish is to win. I think just starting, just being out there. As I said, it's the journey, not the destination. I just love being out there in the wilderness and seeing and meeting people and things like that. So I get addicted to it. In 1998, I ran my very first 100-mile race. And again, just after the first one, I just signed up for every 100-mile race I could. It was like, boy, 100s were even better than 50s. So by the end of that year, 1998, I found out again, I broke another world record. I ran more 100-mile races than anybody in the world in 1 year. I ran 11 of them. I also got awards called the Grand Slam of Ultra Running, another one called the Greatest Race on Earth. I didn't even know these were awards that I was getting until I did them and somebody handed me this award. And I'm the very first person ever to get these awards the very first year they ran hundreds. Okay, so I was a novice 100-mile runner and won the biggest awards you can get. And I took it slow, I just had fun, I never worried about anything, I just had a great time. And then I just got into more and bigger and stuff like that, and you know, I met Molly. Molly turned out to be the same kind of mental ideas I had. And then she and I both ran this race called Badwater in Death Valley. And Rajette just calls up Molly one day, or contacts email or something like that, and said, oh, I hear you ran Badwater, do you want to run my race, the Ultra the High? And she goes, oh yeah, that's the most exciting thing ever. So she calls me up and says, Bill, I'm going to run this race called Ultra the High. And I said, oh God, I want to do this too. Can't possibly imagine not doing it. Well then, you know, he contacted all these other people and they all said, oh God, no, it's too much trouble. Or a lot of people said, yes, they'll do it. And then they backed out. They got too scared. And it turned out only 3 of us actually showed up at the starting line. And me and Molly were one of them. It's just that I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I found my perfect soulmate. Okay, she and I are so much alike and stuff like that. This is great. But we've been like this. We're so addicted. We want to go all these adventures, go all over the world, doing all these kind of races, but still, our number one most favorite race, the race we're in love with, is the Ultra High. There's nothing like that anywhere else on the planet. And we're so upset that we've missed a few races. Because I was riding over here with Judy, and I was just saying, I don't ever want to miss another Ultra High, because I'm jealous of the shirts he has. I'll never have that shirt anymore.
So what happened on Cardam the first year that you were doing it, 2010?
Yes. So at Cardam Law, well, I ran over the top.
About you both.
Oh yeah, okay, so Molly and I decided that we were going to have a commitment ceremony, okay, on top of Cardam Law at 18,000 feet. So during the race, we stopped and we went through this ceremony, you know, exchanging rings and stuff like that. We were committed to each other. And then 2 years later, we actually got married in play. And it was actually in the movie. If you watch, in fact, both movies, the Immortals and this movie, our wedding ceremony is in the show. So again, you know, we love this race. I mean, we got our commitment ceremony, we got married in the race. It's just the race is extremely important to us, and I live so far away. I mean, it's like I'm on the opposite side of the world from in this race. In fact, here's another big thing. So in 2010, we had our commitment ceremony. In 2011, I couldn't come to the race. She had to come by herself because I had a work commitment. Okay, so on Facebook, so she's on one side of the planet, I'm on the other side of the planet. We're about as far away as you can possibly get. I sent her a Facebook message proposing. That's when I proposed. So we figure it's the longest proposal in the history of the world. Longest distance proposal. The only way it can be longer is when somebody goes to Mars, okay, and proposes to somebody on Earth. So 2010 we had a commitment, 2011 we proposal, 2012 we got married. And I have not been back. She came back, I think, 1 or 2 more times. I've just been so much work conflicts and stuff like that. I don't ever want to miss it again. But yeah, so what else?
Last one.
Yeah.
Max Hospital, you landed up in Max Hospital. Just the story, like, and you still came back after. So what happened?
So, well, before the 2010 race started, I actually got quite sick the day before. I don't know what the problem was. Rogette took me to the hospital, verified that I wasn't suffering from altitude sickness. I just had some kind of congestion. And the morning of the race, I woke up feeling great. And so I was able to do the race. I started the race. Then after we got over Cardin Law and we heading down towards Lay, I started getting sick again. And my crew had to pick me up and take me to a hotel where I had to lie down and recover. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, I felt great. I got them, woke them all up, and I said, let's get back in that race. So we went back. And I kept running and running. And then when I got through Lay, I ran through Lay, got through, I started getting sick again. And so I got in the car, and they took me off the course for a while. So I was wondering, maybe the exhaust from the cars was making me sick or something like that. All of a sudden, I'm just sitting there waiting to get back in the race. Rogette actually finds us and comes and says, hey, you got to get in the back of the race, you're going to get disqualified. 5 minutes later, I suddenly had this terrible pain in my stomach. And I just said to my crew, get me to the hospital. So they took me to the Lay Hospital, and they diagnosed that I had a gallbladder attack. And it had nothing to do with the race, it's just bad luck. Maybe that was why I was getting sick before, because the gallbladder was going bad and it was making me sick off and on. The gallbladder just actually went into the worst it can be. They put me in the hospital, in the Lay Hospital. After 2 days there, they flew me to a hospital here in Delhi. What's the name of the hospital? Next. I stayed there for 2 weeks, recovering, trying to get stable enough so that I could fly back to the United States to have surgery. But I kept telling my doctor, this hospital is the most modern hospital, the best hospital I've ever seen anywhere in the world. So if you guys get sick, that's the hospital to go to. The doctors were the best, the nurses were the best, the equipment was the best. Everywhere I went, they wheeled around in wheelchairs. I just saw the best, because I'm in hospitals a lot because of my research and stuff like that. I've never seen anything as good as this. But I was finally there, they got my enzyme levels or something like that to a point where they thought it was safe for me to fly back to the United States. I got off the plane, went straight to my doctor's office. He did an ultrasound and he said, oh my God, you got to get into surgery right away. And so they put me in surgery, they took it out, they said it was the worst gallbladder they've ever seen. But I came back 2 years later and finished the race. So, yeah, there's a lot of memorable history. I would have probably, I'm sure Molly and I would have both finished the ultra high if I didn't have that gallbladder attack. And I believe I would have beat Mark too. Based on my performance in 2012, I think I would have beaten Mark. And I think Molly would have beaten him too. It was Molly actually, she didn't know that I had gotten sick and had to pull out of the race until you told her at like 100 miles into the race. And she had to drop because she got worried about me. She actually, that's another story. When she actually was hospitalized, first one to go in the hospital because her crew actually miscommunicated. She miscommunicated or something went wrong. And they drove too far away, and so she didn't have any water. So she's running, and she's not drinking, she's getting extremely dehydrated and stuff like that, getting very sick. So when she finally got up to her cruise, she was really sick. We had to take her to the hospital. She had to get an IV to get liquids back into her. And while she was there, a guy was brought in who was sick from altitude sickness, and he died right next to her, right in the bed right next to her. And so when she heard that I was now sick in the hospital, she got really worried about it, dropped from the race, come give it to me, and flew into the back and stuff like that. And but I believe that she would have, maybe she wouldn't have caught Mark, I don't know, but I think she would have definitely finished if she had, if I hadn't scared her like that. And she proved it by coming back next year and finishing the race. But yeah, a lot of fond memories. I use the word fond, just you gotta be crazy. But I hope all of you are crazy enough to do these races. All right, yes.
Now moving away from the ultra, what is your thoughts on all this debate about cushioning, not cushioning shoes while running?
Well, a lot of people say running ruins your knees, ruins your hips, ruins your ankles, but Runner's World magazine just did a report just about 6 months ago looking at new scientific data. All these rumors, there's no scientific data supporting it at all. Everybody just been telling each other that running's bad for your knees. But it turns out it's not the running that's bad for your knees, it's the skiing, the snow skiing, or playing basketball or something like that. The side movements, that's what's causing knee problems. They just show up when you're running. Because if your knees are damaged from all the skiing or basketball or things like that, your knees are going to hurt when you go running. But it turns out running is one of the best things you can do to lubricate your knees. And now it's a known fact. All the pounding, it turns out the faster you run, the better your knees are, the more lubricated they are. Runner's World reviewed this, but I've been, so a lot of times when I speak at running things, I'll show the papers where people are actually now saying, running's not bad for your knees, running's good for your knees. Exactly, 180 degrees. But I do have my Hokas. Okay, the Hokas are the shoes with the really thick padding. And I got one pair, and I actually didn't like it because it was so high, and when you're running, traversing a hillside, the shoe feels like it's constantly pulling out from under you. Okay, I run with New Balance. They're called 1210s lead bills. Okay, so that's my favorite shoe. It's thin pads. I have found out that one of the big problems with running ultra, one of the big problems with running ultra high is the blister shoe. Okay, well I've found that the Hokas don't decrease my blister rate at all. I still get just as many blisters from Hokas as I do other things. It's because of the moving around and shooting when your shoes are tight. Still just get movement going on. What else? I can answer questions all day.
Doctor, for the average population, running itself is kind of a abnormal activity. And ultra running appears to be completely irrational. I mean, why would somebody put himself through so much of pain? And so what makes you run these distances?
Well, it's the adventure, okay? As I say, when it quits being fun, I quit. The only exception that I can remember where I didn't quit was the 2012 Ultra High. Because at 97 miles, and this is another story, at 97 miles, I was running, doing really good. 97 miles was like the lowest point of the whole course. And what was the town we were in at the time?
Safety. Safety.
It was the turnaround point.
Yeah, safety.
Well, when I ran into the town, I started getting really weak. And that was like the lowest point of the whole race, and I'm running downhill, and suddenly I'm used to a walk. So I thought something was wrong. So I said, I was afraid to go on because I was afraid I was having a heart attack or something like that. Something was wrong. So I insisted they go get a doctor. I don't know how long I was there, but it was like 2 hours maybe. It could have been 6 hours for all I know. But I was saying that there's no way I'm getting back in the race. I just said, I quit. There's no way I'm going to risk my life and stuff like that. But the doctor finally shows up, analyzes me, and says, you're fine. So I get back up, I walk. I just thought, okay, so I'll walk and just see. But as soon as I got out of this little town, I felt great. And I started running. And I did a lot of running going up to the next 18,000 foot peak, which was Lori Lock. And I felt really great. Even when I wasn't running, I was power walking as fast as possible. I totally recovered. I think I was allergic to something in the air in that little town. And, but still, here I almost quit. You know, I was telling the doctor I didn't want to quit. I bet I wanted to quit. I didn't want to get back in the race. And the doctor talked me into getting back in the race. All right.
Anything else, guys?
Doc, what is your view on this whole carbohydrate, this whole thing which has been going on that you don't really need to eat as much carbohydrates?
Carbo loading is bad for you. Okay? Carbo loading, too much sugar. Sugar is bad. Sugar is an inflammatory, pro-inflammatory drug. It causes heart disease, cancer, everything like that. You want to keep your sugar down. You're never allowed to get up to like 20 grams a day. Keep it about 20 grams a day. We're all doing like 150 grams or higher a day. Carbo loading is bad for you. Don't do it. You do not. Okay, so what happens when you eat sugar, a lot of sugar, you cause your insulin to spike up. Okay, but not when you're running. If you eat a lot of calories while you're running, a lot of sugar while you're running, you don't get the insulin spikes because you're burning that sugar just as fast as you're consuming it. Now, you burn about 100 calories per mile. And so what I've been doing for the last 10 years is I've been eating a packet of goo, which is 100 calories, every mile. In a 100-mile race, I eat 100 packets of goo. Okay, just to keep my sugar level at a constant level that's not causing insulin spikes, low enough high enough that I'm getting energy from it constantly. But only when I'm running. If I see a candy bar and I really want to have it, I look at it and it says 250 calories. I'll just go out and run 2.5 miles. Because then I know I'm not going to get the insulin spikes. Carbo loading is not good for you. That's hundreds of studies now showing that. Some races still have a big pasta feeds the night before. I wouldn't do it. All right.
Right. Yeah.
Listen.
So,
Oh.
put on the lights first.
So we just did a t-shirt for the dark side.
Okay.
That's the dark side.
Right. I will wear this very proudly.
shirts.
Thank you very much.
So that's same.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I heard that sign is no longer there.
Do you know